Hey guys, so today we're going to be going over the Psyker skill tree changes, and we're just going to be looking at or going along my Havoc 40 Flame Staff build here. If you're interested in why I took what weapons or certain perks, you can go check out the other video because I'm not going to go over it over this one. It's just going to be the talent tree we're really looking at here. But and again, a lot of this is you're really going to want to take in the same stuff. They did change some things. We're going to take Soul Stealer. They completely changed warp expenditure. It was like you quell like 2.5% or some stupid like that. They added that into Quietude, which used to be 5%. They bumped it down to 4. Or sorry, yeah, they bumped it down to 4. But it's 10% of peril quelled or generated. Yeah, they completely changed warp expenditure. Melee psychers, you're gonna want to take this. This shit is goated. This is awesome. Always gonna want to take this as a melee psyker. We're not gonna take perilous combustion. Normally I would just to like work my way down the tree, but we're gonna take that off and we're gonna grab something else instead, or down in the tree. Perfect timing. They changed perfect timing. Every build should be taking perfect timing now. It used to just be warp damage, but now it's just 3% damage, across the board. So it's free damage, even if you're not using, warp attacks. We're going to take metal. Believe they changed it. I think it was just 5%. I think they buffed it, actually. I think it was 5% toughness on a crit, and they changed it to 10%, but it's over 4 seconds. So, I mean, you're not getting that toughness back instantly, but you're getting more of it, over 4 seconds. I consider that a buff. That's 10%. And I'm surprised they didn't nerf the movement speed. At least I don't think they did, but yeah, we're going to take metal. They changed battle med. They added the minus peril, 10% peril generation. I don't use it anyway, but a lot of casuals do. I think this is nice, especially where it's placed in the tree, so people can grab whatever they want here and then grab battle med and go down. They did change brain burst. I believe they buffed it. It's let me see. I forgot. It says damage increase is now calculated as a multiplier. Will increase all subsequent bonuses. That's huge. And oh yeah, they didn't change this. They did buff kinetic flare. It used to be just a 10% chance. Now it's 100, and they also reduced the cooldown to 12 seconds. And it does not blow up on or doesn't proc, sorry, on pox bursters. Honestly, I still wouldn't take kinetic flare. I mean, no hate to you, it's fine, but I just don't think it's worth it if it only occurs at critical peril. Smite, I think the only thing they did is there used to be a node here that was what, +1 jumps. They built that in. Assail's the same. I like where it's placed though. I like how all the blitzes are placed right here in a row. So now you can get whatever you want and not skip out on anything. Hell, I haven't used Assail since like the first few months when the game came out. And I might just mess around with it again because now I can grab it and not miss out on, any of the other passives. We're gonna come down. This whole thing is different. I really like this. They changed this. I believe they nerfed it. I'm not too sure how. I never used them before, or this. They were all on the far left side of the tree, so you had to really dedicate some points to try them out. Same thing with the Soul Drinker. Soul Drinker's, it's good. It's just I never used it because it was always on the far right side of the tree. Again, you'd have to really dedicate to go over there. But now you can come down, grab Soul Drinker, and then I'm still stuck between these two here. I believe Wildfire works the same as it always has, which is trash. But it having this on, over the course of a whole match will probably. The more I think about it, I think you're gonna have more damage output with Wildfire than this. The only reason I have this on is just for the few times you are using your primary attacks for the flame staff, which isn't too often, but it's really just stagger whatever the hell's in front of you. But like I said, the more I think about it, Wildfire might net you more damage over time, over the whole course of the game. Somebody go do the math, I don't know, and then get back to me. Melee psychs, like I said, you're earlier, you're going to want to grab Warp Expenditure, and you're going to grab this trifecta triangle here. Yeah, this is nice. I love where this is at, so you can just instantly grab it if you need to. Every class wants that 10% melee attack speed. Maybe not so much on psych, because you're usually using the staff mainly. But it's still nice to have. Warp splitting, yep, triangle. I believe they nerfed by crack of bone. I think they just nerfed it by 1 second, and they reduced that peril generation from 25 to 20. It's still goated, for melee psychers, you're still taking this. They buffed Mind in Motion, which, I mean, I don't know why you grab it, but they buffed it. Alright, is it considered a buff? They added something new. They put ore reloading. I never used Malefic. It was always on the right side. Never grabbed it under a sail. I don't think they changed anything. We're gonna grab Sears, and as far as I know, I've only played Vet twice since the update, but I think they just brought down cooldown reduction. They kind of nerfed it across the board, especially with Psyker, because they nerfed KINETIC's aura. Well, not even nerfed. Well, they did, but they just changed it completely. It used to be, what was it? It was like 5% ability cooldown on a leader specialist, and then they nerfed it down to 4, and then they completely changed it to just 100% cooldown regen for 3 seconds. And it's just for you. This is not for your team. This is just cooldown regen for you. Either way, though, you're going to want to take it. You'll definitely notice you're not getting your ult or your ability back as fast. That's all the more reason to take Seer's Presence, because, again, cooldown reductions, you're going to want as much of it as possible. If you take these, I mean, or one of these, you can, sure, but I would definitely grab KINETIC's aura. Still, grab right, grab Empathic, that's normal. One with the warp, I don't think they changed it, unless I'm tripping. Yeah, I don't think they did. This is new. I could see why people would use it. This is 10% damage resistance while at critical peril, and you are immune or stun immune, sorry, for 4 seconds afterwards. Again, I'm not entirely sure what critical peril is. I assume it's just when your numbers or like the text is red. But that's 10% damage resistance. That's huge. I could see why someone might take this. But this is trash. This is terrible. I don't know why this is here. The only reason I could think someone might use this is for like a newer player. Maybe they're trying to jump up in a difficulty and they're having trouble staying alive. Psych, glass cannon, and they just need something. But that's not going to help that much. You're still taking the damage. It's just 25% of that damage is going to be converted into peril, but you're still taking the damage. You want to grab some passives that prevent you from taking damage, not help you after you take the damage. Go down, I don't think they changed anything on shield. I believe, I had to look it up. I believe they changed this. What, bolster? I have it here somewhere. Oh shit. Yeah, I think they changed the cooldown on it. Yeah, they reduced the cooldown to 35 seconds. Whatever the hell it was before. I have no idea. But y'all get that. People who love the wall shield, I guess. They changed warp rupture. It used to just be a flat like number. You would vent and then you do a flat amount of damage, you know, like 600 or whatever the hell it was. I don't know. Now, when you do it, it decreases the damage dealt by enemies hit by 10% and increases their damage taken by 10%. If you're not running any type of like what's the word? Sorry. If you're not running any type of like Soul Blaze in your build, you could definitely rock this instead. But if you do have Soul Blaze, I'd still definitely take Creeping Flames over Warp Rupture. Squires. I believe what they do with Squires, there used to be a node here for toughness damage reduction, if I remember correctly. It was like I don't remember how much it was, but whatever it was, they built it into here. It built it into the ability. It says 20% toughness damage reduction, but I don't know if that's the same number that was on the node. It probably was. But they put that in, and then they also added a 2.5 toughness each second, which is crazy. I don't know why they buffed Squire's Gate. Squire's is busted. All this is the same. They did buff this. It used to just be minus 20% peril, or reduces your peril generated by 20%, but they also added the quelling by 30% while active, which is really nice, but I would still take precog because you're going to want, you know, the extra finesse damage more than anything. What else? Let's see, we'll go down. This is where they changed something new and then, or they added something new and then they changed what, crystalline will. If you're grabbing any of these two keystones, you could probably skip out on solidity and put the point somewhere else. For instance, you could put, and same thing with the perilous, because you know we took off perilous. You could put those points into lightning speed, and if you want, for the extra melee attack speed, or you could put it into this vulnerable mines. I think this node is going to be huge for psychers, not so much for the boss damage, because you're on psyker, you're not going to be doing any boss damage. Let's be real, unless you have, you know, a great sword or a dueling sword with Squire's Gaze and you're just blasting them in the head. But I think this will be huge, especially in Havoc, because there's too many times where I'm trying to brain burst 3 Reapers in the distance and we don't have a vet, or maybe the vet's dealing with the boss, or God forbid he doesn't have any ammo, and it takes like off the top of my head, what, 4 or 5 brain bursts to kill a juiced up Reaper? Like, Jesus Christ. It might take one less, you know, with this node, and I'll take it. But even so, you're still getting waves of bulwarks and crushers. They supposedly nerfed the crusher spawn rate, but I swear, at least in Havoc, you're getting waves of crushers. And this will be amazing for the flame staff. We're grabbing this, you know, increased damage. This penetration of the soul, I believe that got actually buffed, if I remember correctly. Let me look it up. Yeah, it went from 10% rending, sorry, I'm retarded, rending at 75 peril, and they buffed it to 20% based on peril. This was bugged for a long time, and I said it was in my last video, but it's actually been fixed, so I would definitely take this. It's free rending, especially on flame staff. They also buff Puppet Master. I don't know why someone would take this, but I think it was 50% radius. Now it's 75. Um, let's see. They took each stack increases base damage by 4% node, and they built that into Warp Siphon. So now you can just go down and grab 6. Believe all this is the same. They changed Crystalline Will again. This is still semi-new, but they added 100% overload explosion damage and 25% overload explosion damage. If you blow up and kill an elite, you won't take any corruption damage. That's really nice, but I wouldn't recommend it taking it in Havoc. I haven't tested it, obviously. I could be wrong, but with the increased health pools in Havoc, 35 and up, you might not kill that elite. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he hits the stem and or he's a healing fucking bulwark. I don't know. And then you just die. But in running in quick play and orc, I can see why somebody would take this just to mess around. There's also Warp Ghost is new. This is huge. It's another W for melee psychers. Take this. You're gonna be taking it anyway. Taking squires. Take this, and then boom, take that. You can stay at high peril, doing max damage. This is awesome. This is great for melee psychers. And then all this is kind of the same here. You just go down, grab kinetic. I believe you used to have to grab Surety of Arms to go down the tree. Because I was running Gunpsych, I think for day 1 of the update, and I took this off to like save a point, put somewhere else just to mess around. And I noticed right away, I was like, holy, my reload speed is trash. And I put it back on. So take a note, Gunpsychers. And then I think that's it. I think they changed Disrupt. They just changed the targeting system. It's supposedly supposed to work like Arb's left tree now. Like the little glowing enemies. From what I've used, or from what I've played with it, it seems really consistent now. Way more consistent than what it was before. But yeah, that is about it. If y'all want to look at any of the other builds I have here, I will leave a link in the description. And I will catch y'all later. Peace.